Hello, hello. Welcome back to PS We Have No Plan. I'm Peyton Smith calling in from LA.
And I'm Emily McManus calling in from Nashville. Thank you, as always, for tuning in and listening to us. We are so happy that you're here. It's a pretty dreary Thursday here in Nashville. It's like 40s, rainy. How about you?
Well, girl, first of all, it's Monday, but we love that. We love
Well,
that
I
it
was
feels
just I'm sick, everybody.
we love that you're jumping ahead to Thursday though, because I wish it were Thursday. It's actually a sunny day here, but it was raining all weekend.
Well,
So
when you hear this, everybody, it will be Thursday.
yeah. It'll be Thursday then. Um but
Here I
I
am,
guess
just going to the future.
you know what? That's okay. Well, this episode is going to be a fun one. We're going to talk all things movies and scenes and clips that inspire us because that's
Yes.
a big part of our lives is film and creativity. And so we want to share that with you all and talk about it with each other.
Love it. Absolutely. I'm excited to
Um,
dive into this, to be honest with you, because
I am too.
I I'm not as much of a movie buff as you are. Like I have some that I just watch over and over and over. And it's like comfort and I know I love them. And I know I also need to take more of a risk and watch others because then I see ones I'm like, "Oh, this was such a great movie. How come I didn't see it before?" And I do that with so many things in my life, but I'm gonna be better. But I know what I want to talk about.
Okay, great. And I also think you're really good with documentaries, and I'm not necessarily, that's not something that I gravitate towards. So I think we can help each other with giving different recommendations.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
But first, I want to check in because last week was our wellness episode, and I want to see how your goals are progressing. How are you doing with your wellness goal? You're like, what wellness goal?
Uh, not well,
Okay,
obviously, not obviously. Like, I have been dropping every single ball. I'm trying to dribble, and like as once time I dribble and it goes out to the side. And everybody, you already know this, but Peyton is our ship leader. She is the captain. She steamrolls us forward in every single way. Like I feel like a freeloader right now.
no,
But
feel how I want to validate your feelings, but I also just
thank you for
you put yourself down, and it's just not true. I'm just more
I
type
need to be
A,
better.
and you're like the future bright thinker that like is so creative and just naturally like you just you're like the great crazy aunt that you like go over
I'm
to the
honored.
house of, and they have the cookies and they're sitting there on the
Do you
couch and
want
they're
to
like
crochet or paper mache or do you
they
want to go
just
get a
get life. They
tattoo?
just like get life, and that's how I feel about you. I feel like anytime I talk to you, you're just like, it's okay, everything's fine.
It's fine. I just actually got back from my psychiatrist, so we'll see.
Oh,
Yeah, everybody, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. She told me to get to start doing light therapy.
ooh, I've heard really good things about that.
I honestly have too. And one of my good friends, she does it every morning and she said that she sees a difference. So I'm all about it.
You know, I'm also looking up. I'm curious if it's
How to fix Emily? Google or ask Jeeves.
Oh my God. I'm looking up the astrology for today because I'm curious if like anything's in
Oh, please do.
retrograde.
Oh, I think everything is. I think I read that Mars is for sure.
Oh,
Or
really? I don't know. I don't know
I
how to
wouldn't be
check this
surprised.
out.
Everybody, we are gonna like we do want to have an astrologist on here and like somebody to talk. And I know one like somebody to read our human design charts. So just know that those things are coming.
Yeah, we're all about self-discovery on this pod.
Always, we got to find ourselves in the stars. We have to. We
Um,
have to. We're connecting the dots, cosmic
amazing.
dots.
Well, I wanted to check in because I've been really, really trying to be mindful around journaling. And I have for the last 5 days journaled every morning. I've written my three things I'm grateful for, but I haven't journaled every night. So it was a dual goal of mine. But at least I'm journaling more. So
Absolutely. And that you've hit it for 5 days. Like, I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty really, I mean, that's really good.
I'm happy with it. 5 days, 5 days of journaling.
I'm proud of you.
So
I'm very proud of you.
what was your goal again? Can you remind me? It was journaling, right?
Mine was to write every day, no
Right,
matter
write
what.
songs.
Just write. Yeah, like
Yeah.
not having an agenda on what it's going to be because I feel like we talked about this and maybe we could talk about this a little bit more, but
Yeah.
um when we're creative, I think a lot of times we have that end goal in mind, like, oh, what can this be? What can I turn this
Yes.
into? Can this make me money? I want this to be a hit song or whatever. And the whole idea of creativity is just to create. And I think I'm trying,
Totally.
right? I'm trying to train myself back to just doing it to do it and to flex that muscle again and to relax and enjoy it and not feel like I have to even write a song or write something that makes sense or that sounds good or anything like that. I want to get back to creating to create.
Oh, I love that. Okay, great. So let's
Yeah.
check in next week on that because I'm interested to hear how that goes.
I'm gonna set. Okay. Yes. No, I love that. I'm gonna report back.
Great. So let's dive in. The
Okay.
movies of our lives, whatever. I don't know what things that have impacted us. Because you're right. I don't even know if I'm a movie buff, but I very much care about the creation of film. Like,
Hmm.
honestly, I'm putting it out there right now because I've been talking to Luke about this all week. I've been feeling like an urge to change career paths for probably like 4 months now.
Okay. Okay.
And I love the parts about my current job that I love are that it's an entertainment based social media platform. And so I think transitioning more into film would be really amazing for me. And now that I'm living in LA, there's so many cool studios and production
Oh,
companies and post production companies and trailer companies and music and soundtrack companies for movies that I want to look into and I want to
I
see if I can apply.
you would be perfect for that. You would be perfect because you like encompass every single thing that you just said. And also you set me up for a great segue
Oh,
into
please.
one of my favorite movies, The Holiday. Cameron Diaz, she
Yes.
did trailers.
You're so right. I should watch that tonight.
You should get yourself inspired and into it because oh my God, Peyton, you would be so great at that. Or you could be Jack Black and score them.
I mean, 100%, but also the Cameron Diaz character in that is sort of neurotic and type A like me. And I feel like I can relate to that. And I really love editing. Like, I love editing
You're so
little
good at it.
clips. And
Yep.
it's like,
And you
why?
stay onto it and you're great at detail and you have to be
Yeah,
detail oriented in everything. And I mean, what you do already, it's like short format and trailers are short format movies. I feel like you would be baller.
I thank you. Thank you.
You're
And I
welcome.
also, yeah, I think that's my next move. So I'm just trying to figure out what it is because I just go deep with these shows. Like Luke's like, that is a passion of yours. Like it's a passion, shows and movies and any new film type of thing. Like this Wednesday Adams. I know we talked about this last episode or last
Great.
episode. I'm so obsessed, Emily. Like I've researched every ounce of it. I've watched all the behind the scenes. I looked up the costume designer. I looked up like Tim Burton's, this is his first TV series. So I looked up how he's been feeling about that. And like, I don't know. I've been obsessed with Percy Hines White, who's one of the characters in there that I don't know. I just go deep and I like research
Good.
everything around it. And I think that's
That's
unique
be
to, that's something I should do.
1000%. And that's what we try and celebrate on here is if there's something that
Yes.
intrigues you and like pushes you forward and makes you want to dig, and it's not like you're like, okay, I have 15 more minutes
Yeah.
that I have to start reading this. It's like, no, you lose yourself in that
Yes.
process, then that is a sign that you go after it.
I agree. You're so right. That is what we preach on here. It's
It
like follow
is.
your inklings. Like there's something there. If you're feeling or thinking or yeah, mulling
You
over
need to put
something.
together a short story doc on you and I.
Oh my God.
Why not? Watch out,
Why not?
Sundance.
A24. I just applied to them last night.
What? You're coming at it. Why
Anyways,
not? Why
why
freaking
not?
not?
It's
Well,
like
Cameron Diaz did it. That's all we have
Cameron
to
Diaz
say.
did it.
Okay. Diaz did it. And you know what? She would be a huge supporter of you.
Yeah, I agree. And I could, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna do it. So that's gonna be the
Ugh,
new thing. But tell me,
damn
what
straight.
are some movies that came to mind when you were thinking about this
Hmm.
episode?
I think the one that immediately came to mind for me is, and it's another holiday movie, but The Family
Mm,
Stone. I obsessed,
I'm
right?
obsessed with that. I watch that every year too.
Same. And I mean, I could watch it April,
Same.
August, it does not matter. And I just love the family dynamic. I love the home, the way it's decorated. It's so cozy, and every character is just like perfectly created and curated.
They play on stereotypes in the best way because that's what you want in a movie. You really want them to be like hyper examples of whatever character they're playing, right? And they each have
Absolutely.
the extreme version of whatever character they are.
Yes,
I love it.
absolutely. But it's so believable. And
So
I
believable.
I feel like so many families can relate, just like when it's dysfunctional or the fighting or they come back together or the big dinners or just like the messy house. And I I mean, I love it. I could watch that 24, I mean, not 24/7, but like a lot.
I am obsessed with that. So is there a
It's
scene that
just
you love or is there a character you really resonate with?
I think that one of my favorite, Amy, for sure. I resonate with Amy, I'm sure, because we are very alike in certain ways.
Wait,
But
describe Amy for people who don't know.
Amy is a mess. She wears like eclectic clothing. She's in an old car. Like she's just kind of like, I don't know, the like not neurotic, but like a little judgy, the judgy one of the family. And I think I'm so much nicer than Amy. Like I would never treat like my brother's girlfriend that comes to town like Amy did, but I just relate to her and like just kind of like all over the place. She's all over the place. And she
But she's
seems
also
like
very real. She's also
she's
very real and like the first person I would call if I need like advice on something, you know?
and she seems like she's on a self-discovery path.
For sure.
Right? Like I just love her. And one of
Me
my
too.
favorite things is like just her dynamic between Brad Stevenson, who
Yeah.
took her cherry.
Oh my
Brad
God.
Stevenson, and he gave her a snow globe. I mean, it's just so I love it.
I
Those are
love it.
my two favorite people, and well, no, I love them all, but I love their dynamic and all the scenes together because it's so awkward at first, but then it's meant to be.
You know what you're reminding me of, in saying this is have you ever seen Yours, Mine, and Ours or Cheaper by the Dozen? Have you?
Cheaper by the dozen, yeah.
Okay, so there's an older version of Cheaper by the Dozen called Yours, Mine, and Ours, and it's with Dennis Quaid and I
Oh, I
forget
love him.
yeah, me too. And I forget the wife, but you're totally the wife. Like
Oh, fuck.
she's this eclectic, like I think she's a fashion designer. Um, and she loves chaos, but her kids are she's like, dress however you want, sweetheart. And they come in with like their eclectic
That's so funny. I feel like that is totally it.
and it's
Like
so you.
it really is.
I
I would have
love
10
her.
dogs like running around in a
Yeah, she has like a
sarcophagus.
pig. She has like a pig crawling
Oh my
through and
God, that's such a dream. That's such a dream. My dad has a pig named Susie on his farm, and it is just,
okay,
she's a
Emily, you need to
large
go
lady, and
watch.
I love her.
I love that. Go watch Yours, Mine, and Ours. She marries like a Navy SEAL dude, which is so funny. And he has all these like soldier, like these like little cadet children, and they mesh their families. It's really cute.
That is precious. I'm
Yeah.
going to right after this, I'm going to deep dive.
Yeah, it's
I'm going to
cute.
find out everything about her.
She's great. So,
Oh
um,
my gosh. What movie came up to your mind?
so I mean, so many, but I think I've shared this in previous episodes as well. Uptown Girls is one of my favorite movies because I do feel like the dynamic between Brittany Murphy and Dakota Fanning is almost like my two selves. Like I think in
Yeah.
some ways I'm this free spirited, like young, wanting to experience life and dance around and have fun. Like some of my friends get that side of me. Like some of my friends will tell you I'm the, best person to take a shot with and who you want to go to a
Yes.
karaoke bar with. And then half my friends get the Dakota Fanning side where it's like a bit more neurotic, a bit more quiet, a bit more stern. And I don't know. I relate to both the main characters. I love how they both are discovering themselves.
Yes, and that's once again like I think a lot of what we celebrate on here, people are not one dimensional and there's
No,
not one facet to you. Like there are times where, I mean, it could be polar opposites,
literally.
the way you're doing something, and that's just the way it goes. But
Yep.
like it should be celebrated. And like I love that about you. I absolutely do. Like I feel like we connect on such a like cosmic creative
Yes.
level and like this desire to just like go for it and like achieve everything that we want because why
Yes.
not? And then you also keep us in line business wise. Like you do. And I think that those are just such cool qualities.
Well, thank you. I do agree with you. People are way more complex than they sometimes boil themselves down to be. And I think that movie is a really cool representation of that. And there's not one right way to live. Like Brittany Murphy's really free spirited and goes off and kind of does her own thing. And Dakota Fanning's very, stern and does her
Yeah.
ballet and eats a certain way and and they both discover themselves in their own way. So that's another reminder. Like you get to the self-discovery point no matter how you go about it, right? If you go like
Right.
this in circles or you go in a straight line, you're going to
You'll
get to the
still
same
find it.
point. Yeah.
And they're at different times of
At different
life.
times. Exactly.
Because she was her nanny, right?
Yeah.
Brittany Murphy is the nanny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that I mean, I just love that too. I love that that's a common theme that always comes up in your life as well and that you can relate to. And just like that pinpoint scene of that movie is it's there with you. It's
It really
imprinted.
is. It really is, which is hilarious. And I love the early 2000s soundtrack, of course, as
Oh,
well.
oh, those are, I mean, there's nothing, it's never going to get better than that.
And
It's
another
really not.
movie that is so polar opposite to this is Good Will Hunting.
I've never seen that
Oh my God, Emily, you would love.
on my list.
Definitely on your list. It's Matt
Okay.
Damon and Ben Affleck's first movie, I want to say. Maybe not their first movie, but one of their first projects that they ever worked on together.
And it like won Best Picture?
Yep, Robin Williams is in it. He's the
Dream.
therapist. Matt Damon has like this kind of not kind of this really really challenging past and Ryan and Robin Williams is his therapist who sees him for the first time. And there's this one scene where he breaks down and well first Robin Williams is like it's okay. And he's like I know it's okay. He's like it's okay. And he's like I know it's okay. He's like look at me. It's okay. And keeps saying it for like a minute and a half and then eventually at the end Matt Damon's just sobbing in his arms.
Oh my
And it's like
gosh.
so powerful. Like it's such a good movie. Always refer back to that one scene because sometimes you just gotta sob it out.
You do. You really do. I I I want to start diving into like I want you to make me a list of music and movies because sometimes I feel like when I don't explore new, that keeps me from feeling and discovering and being more creative.
I
Because you
agree
don't
with
know
you.
what you haven't seen or experienced, right? It's like everything in the world, travel, food, whatever.
Yep,
You
yep,
don't know until you experience those feelings, see it, hear it, whatever it is.
yep. I
So
agree. We
that's
should
going to be
make each
something.
other.
Okay. Okay. That brings me on to though my next one
Yeah.
and something that I know you haven't seen, but I want you to, and it's called Stutz, and that's a documentary. Um, Jonah Hill makes a whole film on his
Oh,
therapist.
I've seen clips of this. Oh my
It
God. I also love Jonah Hill.
Oh, it is beyond fantastic. It might be one of the best things I've ever watched. It's
I can't
nothing
wait.
special like cinematically
No.
or whatever, but how they talk is just incredible.
Oh my
And
God, I can't
this
wait.
Phil Stutz is a fucking icon. You have to. It's just beautiful. It's just a way of living and he teaches us how to get out of that hamster wheel and accept and that nobody is perfect. Everybody's dealing with the same things. He said there's three things that are constant in life and it's um change, constant work, and pain. Those three things will
Change.
never go away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the truth. And like we always see this snapshot of what we want in life, but that's one dimensional. We don't see everything else that goes into it. And we think that once we get there, everything will be fixed and we'll feel fine. And that's not the case. It never will be. It's about enjoying the ride.
Oh my God, I have to watch this. Jonah Hill's actually surprisingly like, so good at filmmaking and so good at storytelling in a way that I think a lot of people don't know.
I would have never, truly wouldn't because I've seen like not clips, but I've seen like snip or like the album or the album cover, the video cover of it like on Netflix when I'm scrolling through and I never stopped. but it just one day I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this. And it was spectacular. And you're right, the way he put this together was beautiful. The coloring of it,
Yeah.
a lot most of it's black and white, but it's like this very detailed noir black and white. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I can't wait to watch and discuss. We should definitely dedicate an episode to it because it
Oh,
feels like very,
absolutely.
very much about what we're about. He
Yes.
also created Mid 90s. Did you ever see that movie?
No. What is it called?
The Mid 90s. It's about like 90s skate scene, I want to say. I haven't actually seen like in full, but he follows a bunch of skateboarders and it's really cool.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah, it's a young adult. You know, my favorite genre of all time is young adult. Like any
Yep.
movie that's about the pains of growing up, sign me up.
And music.
Yeah, and music.
Let our little emo hearts get after it.
Girl, I don't know what
Oh,
my all of my favorite movies that I like Little Miss Sunshine, Perks of Being a Wallflower, The Art of Getting By, like everything is about growing up and it's the challenges of it. I wonder why.
full circle. It's because it challenges us. Like that's what you and I really relate with. It's hard growing up, and it's hard growing up when you see other people that appear to love every step that comes along with it. And once again, I say appear because I think we know that that's not always the way it is, but that's
Mm-hmm.
why we want to talk about it more. Is like it's okay to not be sure, it's okay to be uncomfortable, it's okay to be sad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because I think what movies mean to
Mhm.
me is this visual portrayal of important stories that sort of need to be told or the ones that speak to me at least. So the topics of growing up and your first relationship, your first heartbreak,
Mm.
how you see your mom, what you
Mhm.
fight about with your dad, like those topics are so raw and real to me. So when I see those stories being told, it speaks to me on like a different level and I really feel seen and I
Validated
yeah,
everything.
yes,
Yes. I'm
yes.
sure there's a level of comfort in that to know, like, okay, it's not just me or whatever. I'm not feeling this alone. And I love that. And for me, it's kind of different. I think
Mm.
I gravitate towards movies to have nostalgia. I love the feeling of nostalgia and to like bring that back. And it's just always something like one of the other movies I wanted to bring up is Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. It's
Ooh.
yeah, it's a really old movie. But when I was little, it was my favorite. And I think that that really did spark my love of music because it was just this old musical. I mean, it's funny watching it back now because like the backdrops are like cardboard castles and like
Yeah.
it's so like we have come such a long way. It's so awesome. But it is the music is so good and it's a story that we all know, but it brings me back. It brings me comfort. Like I still all know all of those songs and I could sing them every day. But that movie, like when I think about it, it brings me comfort. It brings me like being a kid, like cozied up at home, just watching this with a bagel.
That's amazing. See, and that's why I feel like film is such a cool medium because you can
Yes.
see, you can get different feelings and I think I like ones that are a bit have a bit of a dark twist just because I think that's how I operate. Like I sometimes will just walk and we've talked about this and start crying, or I'll just put on songs that depress me sometimes, or I'll feel really moody in my whole, I'll write like a short story that's about like a really sad, I
You're
don't
a
know.
feeler. You're a
I'm a
feeler.
feeler, but I like
Peyton
the
Smith is
dark
a feeler.
feelings. Yeah, but
Oh,
it's like even the song I just wrote a song this week and it's about a girl with an eating disorder. Like, why did you write that? So it's I just like exploring that part of life. And I don't
yeah.
know, that's why I like movies that have that.
You're a character creator. I think and that even kind of brings you back to wanting to be involved in film and trailer and
Exactly.
everything. Yeah, Peyton, like,
That's what I mean. I'm like, this is what like. This is how I operate. This is how I see the world. This is how I think. This is how I.
yes, that is you. That is so you. It's so, I mean, and I think that's so cool. Like you're discovering that.
I mean, but it's like, how do you get there? Like, I'm like,
I don't know. I
I'm not a
know.
nepotism baby in terms of the film industry. I don't know anyone. How can I just be like, oh, I want to be the next Greta Gerwig? I just want to be a director and I want to also act when the project's right. And I want, like, how do you do that?
You just do. You
I
just do.
guess.
You get started. Like, I feel like you're already probably steps ahead. You have things that you write. So, like, you
Yeah.
have a catalog of to show that you are a writer. Like, you are very good. And just with your clips that you make on TikTok, it shows like how you know how to put a certain part
The
together to make them
scene.
flow. Yes. You
I
already
know.
have it. You just need to do a project.
Yeah.
Say what you want to make a project on and make it.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it'll be about this podcast and this our brand development. Maybe that'll be, I don't
Why
know.
not? I mean, that
Why
could be
not?
so cool. Like, and we could talk about this off air,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I feel like that would be amazing.
Yeah. I
The
asked
ins and
Santa for a
outs.
camera this year, everyone. So hopefully Santa comes through.
Ho, 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 he better.
Little filmmaker in the making.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Hell yeah. Oh, a movie I'm super excited about, a new A24 movie is Jesse Eisenberg directed it, which is sort of interesting. When You Finish Saving the World.
Oh,
It's coming out soon. It's with Julianne Hough. Is that her name? No, 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 no. Julianne Moore.
oh, I love her.
Me too, so much. And Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things. So I'm very
Okay.
excited.
Okay.
He's the tweeny young son, and he like is a musician and he live streams. And she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm live streaming, mom." And like he's just this misunderstood, like angsty teen, and she's this, oh, it's so good. I can't wait.
When you finish saving the world?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. We'll
it's
both
coming
watch
out
it. I think
soon.
okay. 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 I'll watch it. I promise. I
Yeah.
well, this is very opposite, but I also just love a good Hallmark movie.
Do you? Okay, wait.
I
Tell me some
do.
good Hallmark movies because I can't say I love Hallmark movies all that much.
So anything that involves with like a prince, love it. They're all pretty much the same plot. The girl in the big city comes home for Christmas and she reunites with her ex-boyfriend who is a lumberjack or a woodworker or took over his mom's pie company, and they fall madly in love again and live happily ever after. That is the story in every single one. And you know what? It's fucking beautiful and I love it. And my friend Jana Kramer, she
Oh
actually
yeah.
does Lifetime and Hallmark movies, and she has a new one. I think it's called like Stepping into the Holidays. And she has quite a few. So like watch those, everybody. But I love them. They just they're feel good. They work out in the end, which I love. And it's I can't say enough.
That's amazing. And also Jana Kramer went on Red Table Talk, which we were talking about
She
earlier.
did. She did.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
that's
saw
right.
that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Maybe one day
Jana,
Jana will come on our podcast.
come on our podcast, talk about Hallmark and Red Table Talk. Because we can talk a little bit of light, fluffy, the Hallmark movie or the Lifetime stuff that you're doing, and then we could also talk about like the deep rooted kind of sad shit. So we have
Yes. And she's also filming for Chicago Fire right now. So she's like,
ooh,
she's a season, she does things. She does movies and TV shows. So I mean, we're gonna put that out there right now. Jana's gonna be on our podcast come 2023.
oh yeah, we should make a wish list of guests for 2023. We could shoot really big, and then we could also have like more realistic goals,
And then we'll send it to Santa. We will
and then we'll
send it
send
to
it to
Santa.
Santa.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Well, who's the number one on your list if you could pick from the film, from like a movie, like a guest?
Oh, a guest.
Yeah.
Crazy, but I would say Meghan Markle.
Oh, good one.
Really? Yeah.
She's coming out with a
I
new Netflix doc. Did you see that?
am pumped. Yeah.
I can't
On
wait.
Thursday, which is the day that this episode will drop, everybody.
Hell
So
yeah.
listen to our podcast on your walk during the day, then come home, cozy up, and watch the first 3 episodes of Harry and Meghan.
Love that. Okay,
This is a
that's a great
non-shameless
one.
plug, right?
I would
I'm
love to
fascinated with
talk to her.
her.
Yeah,
Fascinated.
me too.
Everything about her, the story, what's
Mm-hmm.
going on.
Mm-hmm.
I adore her fashion sense.
Mm-hmm.
That she is so multi-talented. Like she
Mm-hmm.
worked in the embassy in Argentina, I believe, Argentina maybe. And I mean, everything about her. And she's just a go-getter.
Oh, that's an amazing one. And honestly, not too far-fetched. Like she could
You
potentially,
never know. You never know. She does a
you never know.
podcast. We are young women trying to make it, and that is her full like platform right now about like helping women like make it. You never know.
We're trying to make it.
We're tr- we're really trying to make it, Megan. Come on, Meg. Get on here.
Oh my God. Okay, I think
I have
mine.
heard, sorry, one more thing.
No,
I have
please,
heard
please.
she's coming back on social media soon. Like there's rumors that she's going to come on Instagram. So when she does, we will be sorry, we're going to bombard her.
Okay, yes. A
Tastefully,
thousand
of
percent.
course. Tastefully.
Tastefully.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Well, Prince Harry went on Dak Shepard's podcast, The Armchair
Yeah.
Expert. So they definitely, I feel like, are open to that. We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
My guest, well, can you guess?
Harry Styles.
I mean, of course. But the one I
Oh,
was thinking about is a recent fascination that I've been talking about a lot.
oh, the Wednesday.
Yeah. Do you know who
Tim.
created? Yeah, Tim Burton. I like basically whatever. Yeah,
No,
Tim
it was good.
Burton.
It was great.
Tim Burton would be amazing because I feel like he's such an amazing director and he's so hands-on and he's so amazing and imaginative and world building and can just concept these incredible stories. And yeah, I would love to just learn about someone as quirky and eclectic and interesting as Tim Burton.
And also, like, what a cool guy. Like, he is so quirky, but that's who he is. And he puts that out there.
And he has this dark little twist. And I just am like, that's
Yes.
amazing. Because I've tried to write, I took a fiction course, advanced fiction in college, like fiction and advanced fiction. I was obsessed with writing, obviously. And my final project was on a serial killer. I think I've told you this before.
No, you never have. This is
Oh,
crazy.
I wrote
I
a
love
short
it.
story about a serial killer, and it was like early tendencies of his. So, um, like he was like killing his cats and killing cats in the neighborhood, and his best friend found out. But it was really hard to tap into that creepy,
Darks. Yeah,
dark space, and I like
I'm
couldn't
sure.
write, and I didn't know how to. Anyways, I'm generally interested in horror and how they develop that world, and not that Tim Burton does horror, but I do think that there's a special storyteller that can tell a creepy story and do it well.
Mm-hmm. This is has nothing to do with a movie, but you made me like pinpoint on serial killers. So
Yeah.
my boss's friend's brother was the one who drove it's I don't know if it's not Timothy McVeigh, but it's a serial killer's
Ted
body.
Bundy? Oh.
Maybe. I will verify this with everybody and fact check and let you know on the next episode. But he was a serial killer and he like drove him to prison. So he was there when he was alive, but he also escorted his body after he was killed. And
What? Was he a cop or how did he escort how did he drive these people?
once again, the details are fuzzy, but I promise, I promise I will. I would text my boss right now, but I just have a feeling he's not going to text back in time. Think about this was he goes, how can these people do this? How can they think that way? And the response is, that's the thing. They think so different than a normal person. Like we cannot even conceptualize to think like they are. Like we truly can't because we are not twisted like that. And it's true. Like they are so twisted that they think a completely different way that we don't we don't think that way. Our brains don't work
Exactly.
that way, thank God. But
Exactly. And it's really sad and scary to watch these actors replicate these people like Jeffrey Dahmer. Evan Peters is him in the
oof,
new Dahmer series. And I just watched their roundtable where they were all talking about how he tapped into that role. And exactly to your point, he had to watch a ton of documentaries and get into that mindset and start to think the way that this guy thought. And it was dark. Like he had to have multiple doctors on set checking in with him on a daily basis. He had the director.
really
Oh yeah, director had to check in on him at night, make sure he was like surrounded by friends and family because he was tapping into such a dark place to play Dahmer. It's like,
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I
yeah,
understand. I can how could you not? How could you not? Because you have to research so hard
right.
and deep and for so long. And then it takes a while to make these movies. So you are fully in this character. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it's scary.
And to do it well, like even, I mean, Wednesday Addams is a little bit different, but she even just subtle
No,
things
we
like she
love Wednesday.
wasn't, love Wednesday. She wasn't able to blink. Tim Burton was like, you did that whole take without a blink. I love that. Don't blink for the rest of the show. So she never blinks. So all of her episodes,
Wow.
she's like this and she's like this, you know, and she looks up and it's wild. And she's like, yeah, it was in Romania in the winter and it was like wind chill blowing in my face. And I kept having to do retakes because my eyes started
But we have
tearing.
such dry eyes then too.
But
For
little subtle
Pete.
things like that is cool. Like actors can, right, kind of
I love,
become a character.
yes, those little details and anything that's creative or created is, I think, my favorite thing. Yeah, chef's
Me too.
kiss, this. Like it is, it's everything. And that's what makes it great.
I totally agree. Well, this was fun, and we have some homework to do, some
We
movies to
do. I
watch.
will, we have some movies to watch and I will report back on the serial killer details.
Okay, please do. We all can't wait.
Definitely. Oh, don't you
Thank
worry.
thank you guys so much for listening. This was a fun episode, and if you liked these types of things, let us know because we really enjoy making these types of creative episodes. This is PS We Have No Plan.
Bye bye.
I woke up in the morning and the sun broke through the open curtains. The birds sang too and they said, "This is a day to celebrate."